In 2023, I was invited to introduce the bodymind techniques of adapted spiral praxis to children with disabilities in Mumbai, India. This video presents some fascinating stories of disability in this beautiful, timeless country that is flowing into the future. Mumbai is a bustling city of 21 million people. Everywhere there are signs of old culture and new culture in the crowded streets and markets. My host in India is Kavita George, Director of Communicare, a non-profit organization that has opened preschools and the first daycare for kids with disabilities in India. The mother of a child with disability herself, her passion to help families has come from a deep source of personal experience.
India is still at a very nascent stage when it comes to inclusivity. We have no respite workers, we have no trained caregivers who can help the families. We still are understaffed, there is lack of resources. Even the educators, many of them choose to work with milder conditions.
In urban centers like Mumbai, things are changing rapidly. Today, Kavita and her family have taken me on the first day to a concert by the Colonial Cousins, an indie band that fuses classical with contemporary Indian music. The flow of sound is hybrid and hypnotic, a sign of shifting times over the past 10 years.
One of the first things that I, as a parent of a special child, is to educate myself. I think that is something that I wanted to share with the rest, empowering every parent with enough knowledge to make sure that they are taking right decisions for their children at the right time.
He has been very bad nights. Every night he'll scream with pain. Typically around 2 o'clock Sunday, he wakes up with pain.
Milan and Saloni's son, Aditya, has been experiencing intense pain over the past 2 months. The cause is unknown and is part of the constant puzzle that his disability presents.
His condition is MLC. It's a degenerative disease. Till 3 years old, all his milestones were all on par. As he started growing up and he got more seizures is when the condition started worsening up. His mobility is affected, his fingers can't do much, his speech is affected. It is a uphill battle.
In body-mind therapy, we're trained to release physical pain even when a child can't talk. In Aditya's case, I noticed that his shoulder is dislocating when stressed. The initial solution is simple: to teach Aditya to understand what's happening in his body and to relax.
No, you don't push it like that. There you go, you see? Soft. Perfect.
Relax. No, you're stretching it. There you go. See? It was amazing. We didn't realize her shoulder is almost out of the socket. And the entire body after that was a different dynamic.
The puzzle of Aditya's chronic pain hasn't been completely solved, but today's progress is a good start. After Aditya's shoulders was released, his motivation to learn began to flow again, and he did something new for the first time: walk independently 10 feet with only one person supporting him. Communicare centers are focused on families with kids with disabilities and special needs. Here, the lessons center around a child's body-mind experience and offers a holistic alternative to traditional educational systems. Jokik is a dancer and was given the chance to lead this classroom. Naturally gifted with children, he's eager to learn a body-mind approach.
We are getting more and more things to learn from the children now, how they are portraying to us. Like for example, we have one boy like Shaurya Akshat. So he always used to do like this, like this. So he just want someone to like just hold it, and he just want a sensory. Like now they properly understanding us, and we are trying our best level to more and more understand them.
In the far corner, away from the others, is the newest and oldest student in the classroom, Yayati. His story is one of tragic ignorance. At 3 years old, while crying in the hospital at night, a nurse gave him an unnecessary injection which robbed him of his physical abilities, vision, and communication. Sujata, Yayati's mother, is a devotee of the Dalai Lama and has written a beautiful book about her son. She writes, "I have always felt that my son's life is a statement, that disability is indeed a tragedy which endorses helplessness. However, it can be endured if the spirit of the person is kept high and the soul is not crushed." Yayati was virtually confined in isolation during the COVID pandemic. His legs have become severely bent and cramped, which Pranjal and I must release through spiral praxis.
All the way here like this, and then coming, yeah, and then open, yeah. It's a full range of motion here. Yeah, this is good. Wow, there we go. It's like the other one now. It's good. Oh, look at his face, yeah? Yeah.
Through careful body-mind release work, in the first session we're able to get Yayati to sit crisscross, the first time he's done it in years. We're also starting to get him walking again. It takes 4 of us to support him, but it's literally his first steps forwards in a long time.
Did you get any therapy?
I told it was long back, like 12, 15 years back.
Ajay is 24 years old and did not receive proper therapy as a young boy. As a result, though his CP is mild, it's a challenge for Ajay to do even simple tasks. Ajay's ability to communicate his experiences can give us important insights into the experience of cerebral palsy. As we work together, Ajay notices any movement he makes in his arm creates tensions in other parts of his body.
Something triggered me. So I don't know what is that trigger. A couple of times I have noticed that my left leg was getting stiff. It's not fixed which part, which area, but it will move. It will trigger, that's it.
As we move deeper into Ajay's physical experience, a subtle transformation begins to take place. His hands begin to relax. His legs begin to relax. And his whole arm begins to flow. This initial transformation marks the beginning of all body-mind therapy. The body becomes aware of itself and becomes ready to connect to mind. Sujata and Anil live on the top floor of an apartment building with Yayati. Although they're advanced in years, they have no helpers for him. His growing size and lethargy has become a real concern for them, as they can no longer lift him.
Sometimes he's very reluctant to even get up from the wheelchair or go to the loo or anything.
So as you said that sometimes it is mental, he doesn't want to do it, but here today he wanted to do it, he indicated me, but he couldn't.
What's heartbreaking is that Yayati seems aware of his decline, which began with new medications and the COVID pandemic within the last 5 years.
He has been a very, very active person, and his muscle became weak very suddenly. For him it was a big shock, and we knew because the doctors had warned us that this particular medicine, but then we had to make a choice between that medicine or otherwise his life was in danger. He had this confidence that if not anyone in the world but my mummy will understand me. That was, that is probably still there. So, but then there are occasions when I have failed him. When I think of those days, those moments, I feel very sad and sorry that, I could not understand him and what he was trying to tell me,
What Sujata is saying here is that Yayati experienced physical and sexual abuse at the hands of caregivers he was entrusted with. How have those experiences affected Yayati's physical and social development? No one knows. As Yayati retreats to his bedroom after dinner, he plays with his childhood toys alone in his own secret hidden world. In Yayati's sessions, his legs have released, but Yayati is still reluctant to move. We have to cajole him to walk. A change is happening. He can now walk with the support of only his hands. And he even likes to try and run. When it comes to walking over a block, however, the flow is not there. Aditya too has made progress, but at night he's been still feeling great pain. It's unclear why, and so Kavita and I have rushed to see him at his home at night.
Feet down. All the way down. Yeah.
Saloni has told me that Aditya often suffers from digestive issues, so I suspect that his intestines are the reason. By relaxing his legs and massaging his stomach, the manifestations of pain seem to decrease. It's another piece of the puzzle for everyone to understand the root causes of Aditya's pain.
Feet down. Relax. Yeah, that's it. Get soft when you do that. Yeah? Feet down. You see that?
The day after, we work with Aditya's caregivers, Vikas and Kiran, to make sure they understand how to deal with Aditya's pain issues. In India, sometimes caregivers aren't allowed to do body work on their children due to social hierarchy, but it's essential during crisis that everyone's on the same page. By training and educating Vikas and Kiran, everyone becomes a holistic member of Aditya's support team.
We are so happy that we have you here. So the kids have prepared something for you before we get into the main event.
There's a lot of commotion at the center because today, celebrity rapper Dino James has come to observe the innovative work being done with the children. For Ajay, An aspiring rapper himself, Dino's presence is like a dream come true.
Music is my life. So it is a kind of healing to me. If I'm very happy, I need a music. If I'm sad, I need a music. So music is something that is always surrounding me.
दूर रहना है मेरा बाबू तुझे छोड़ के नहीं जाऊंगी मैं ये हर लड़की का कहना है छोड़ बंद करो ये सब बातें फायदा नहीं उनसे करके फरियादें बातों पे अपनी मैं खड़ा पूरा उतरा जो बोलते हैं लाला वो हम करके दिखाते कसम के पे बल्लम
Like a flower, Ajay's hand is beginning to fully open in his session. His body-mind awareness is growing, and he's realizing that his learning is becoming more fluid and is evolving.
I am surprised right now because the wrist was like that. Now if I'm trying to open the fingers, I can open it without bending this. So,
Nice.
He's moving his hands, he's getting over pain over that. So consciously that pain can be removed. And
Yeah. We just have to, he has to just keep learning more and more about what's going on.
but when you were trying to move the left foot, it wasn't. I couldn't make out the move. So the only movement that my leg knows is the knee knows is pull it up and push. Pull and push, nothing else. Not like that, nothing, the finger movement.
Yeah.
So nothing. So I just noticed now, like after so many years, I have noticed this.
Ajay's past therapy has focused on function, not feeling. So I think he hasn't really known how to really move until now. The experience brings him to new insights about his relationship to his body.
Like I said, it's psychological, the fingers are like that. So I feel a bit shy, opening the fingers, what people will think.
Right.
So I don't usually open them because they are not the normal way. They open in a different way. So I guess it is in the psychological way that I feel scared, afraid, or shy.
Okay, here we go. You're on your own. And you can find open, stay open, stay open, stay open, stay open, stay open. That's it. There you go. Do you feel that?
The challenge for Ajay is now to overcome his inner obstacles and keep opening himself up further into the flow.
My staff is being trained, and why we do this is it's very, very important to make sure that they are given responsibility, they are enjoying the process. I would like every child to be understood well because every child is different.
Aditya has become alive again in his movement sessions. His intense pain is no longer. As a last piece of the puzzle, we've been adding friends to his session, which has motivated him even more. For Saloni, learning about Aditya's pain has been a new holistic process, another step in his spiral life's journey.
It boosts our confidence so much. Like, because we've seen him fall so many times, I think we've lost a little of our confidence also. And we were thinking, okay, this is it. Let him remain where he is, and that is how much we can do.
But pain and isolation can't be the only option for children with disabilities. Aditya's future now must rely on inclusive support and understanding. On the last day, Saloni does her part by giving Aditya a present to prevent his pain in the future.
Actually, when we had gone to US in last May, and we had seen the tilted wheelchair, we knew this is what he wanted. So we went online and started doing a little more about in India where we can get. And finally we got something. It's good. It's taking care of his posture. Yeah, thank God.
By his last session, Yayati also has come a long way. His body is more relaxed, and he's rediscovering skills from his past. Yayati was born in a generation where disability rights were just becoming known, and his life has opened the door for others like Aditya and for schools like Communicare. On this last day, we challenge Yayati to climb stairs too, something that, after all these years, his mother Sujata is proud of.
Immense happiness, lot of excitement, and everybody, like if whoever will come, even the watchman or the sweeper, if whoever is, in this area or seeing him, "Arey aur thoda chalo, walk little more, fast. So lot of happiness and joy comes to see that,
With so many difficulties and challenges in India, why should people continue to improve care for the disabled? The work is hard and physically draining, but for Kavita, who is going to an awards ceremony honoring sustainability, the question just points to the sign of our times.
A lot has changed over the last decade since I have started my work. I see a lot of good people doing good work. I see a lot of commitment and a lot of enthusiasm, and that is something we constantly need to work on.
Communicare Education received the award for NGO leadership.
I think this should be done at a larger scale, at a larger level, where there are more people trained to take care of the more severe conditions and not just the borderline cases. Definitely, I'll stretch myself out a lot. Burnout is a common factor. I will not single out even my own self in this. But in my role as a founder of Communicare, I make sure that I open out my arms and ensure support to the parents who are there with me. And that is something I am committed to till the very end.
The efforts of Kavita and many others like her in Mumbai are ushering in a new level of awareness of disability in India. It's passion and commitment like this that pioneers change in the world and makes it bright for the next generation of people with disabilities. My trip to India is coming to a close. During these few weeks, I felt like I've experienced a world that moves differently, a world that lays bare suffering and joy and mixes ancient traditions with new ones. Weaving through the traffic and noise, I feel like I'm just a part of a larger global flow. Ajay is finishing his sessions by exploring the new freedom in his hand. For him, body-mind therapy has been a way to deepen his understanding of his own body. The process of neuroplasticity, which the medical field is just discovering itself, is the ability of the body-mind to develop through deep learning experiences.
The flow is very impressive for me. Since I can see there's a lot of movement and a lot of improvement in the left arm and the wrist. The first and very important thing that I've learned that I was very afraid of doing anything new to the body. So I was used to a posture and I don't wanted to change that posture because that might be painful for me or that might be something difficult for me to do. If something new happens, I used to get triggers in my fingers or my foot, or even I used to get cramps because it was getting stressed. But now the games that we are playing, I can feel that I can extend the boundaries and I can go beyond. It's like a tree which had few branches. Now when you can see another branch is growing and we can see something's happening. I can feel that my whole body is now getting big.
Superwoman.
During the last part of the intensive, I had a chance to work with Arya, a 5.5-year-old girl with CP. Arya is a girl who is unafraid of her gifts, something her mother realized very quickly when she was born.
So we were always willing to accept the way she is, but her willingness to do more and more has pushed us also.
Arya is a spirited young girl who might represent the future of disability in India. From the earliest years of her life, she'll have access to the best medicine and teaching that Mumbai can offer.
She feels she's equal with all the children. She does not think that she knows less or she has lesser capabilities. That's not sunk into her at all. What is the core importance that she should remain a happy soul. So, because she used to go for so many therapies. So when I grow up, I'm going to become a physiotherapist. We were like, okay.